Hi there, Aliza Ben Shalom. I am so excited to be here with you and to be here with Sarah.
Hey, hey.
We are glad to be back and hanging out with you. And we are going to talk today all about breakups. And I want to talk about what you do if you're on the side of being the heartbreaker, and what you do if you're on the side of having had your heart broken, and how you go forward. What if you want your relationship back? What do you do? What if you never want to get back together? What do you want to do? Like, I want to dig into it all. Sorry, you cool with this?
No big deal. These are not heavy topics at all. I have all the answers. Let's do this. Yes, I'm really excited for this because this comes up a lot, obviously, in dating and dating coaching. So yeah, let's do it. Let the wise one speak her words of wisdom.
Here we go. So, and Sarah's going to do her lovely interjections as we go along and be like, Aliza, you know, I love it. Okay, so here we go. So if you are the one who is being broken up with, you are ending up with a broken heart. Somebody just came to you and they're like, I like you. I just don't want to be with you anymore. You're a good person, but you're just not for me, right? And you're there, they're like, I thought this was the one. Or maybe you're just thinking like, oh, I'm really upset. I really thought this was going somewhere and I really want you to give it a chance. And you really want to convince them, you want to talk to them, you want to do all of that. So number one, if you are on the side of having your heart broken and you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. Some people are like, no, but I don't want to convince somebody. Well, if you could convince them into sticking with you a little bit longer, you could see if the relationship has potential. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I don't know. But maybe you can buy yourself a little bit more time to extend the relationship, right? That's option one.
Does that ever turn into something productive, or is it just a way of delaying the inevitable?
It depends. Some people break up a little bit too early and there still was potential there. Other people, they've maxed out their potential and really there's nothing left, but they feel bad. So they give somebody a shot and it delays the inevitable. It could go either way. And unless you call me to talk it out with me, I won't know which situation you're in, but it could go either way. Hear me out though, right? You've been dating for whatever, a period of time. And I don't want to give a specific period of time because we work with secular, religious, and everybody across the spectrum. So for some people, 2 months is a really long time. And for some people, 2 years is a really long time. So whatever is a long time to you. If you've been dating for a long time and this person breaks up with you and you maybe had an inkling or a feeling like this was going to happen, then you might not be able to revive it. You've already been going on for a length of time. You might just be delaying the inevitable. If you've been dating for a short or a medium amount of time and you're like, wait a minute, we never discussed this. This is the first time this is coming up, or we had discussed this before and things were getting better. We're like, why are we rushing to break up? I don't understand. If you're a little bit more in the middle of a situation, then you're like, no, I want a little more time to figure this out. And we deserve that as a couple. And even if the other person doesn't buy into it, you still want a chance to do something about this. So you want to fight for it a little bit. Okay. If you're thinking, well, if you don't want me, then I'm not going to chase after you. Well, okay, then that's it. Then that's it for this relationship and you'll be moving on. And that's just the way that it is. If you don't have the energy or the strength to actually fight for what you're looking for, then there's nothing to talk about. We're going to move on. Okay. Now we're going to move to what if you're on the side of being the heartbreaker and you're the one that has to say, hi, I'm sorry, I don't think this is going to work out and we're moving on, right? It's so hard. And if you've been in a relationship for a long period of time, there's a lot of emotions. Often there's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of things that are moving. And if you don't tell the person exactly what's bothering you, and there's reasons not to, then they might be confused. They might think that you're making a mistake. And you might be saying, no, thank you, I don't want this. And they might be saying, but we need a little bit longer to figure that out. And you're saying, nope, I got it. I'm clear. I know. And they're like, but how do you know? And you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to tell them that. So I just make up a story of what to tell them. That's not really the real reason, because the real reason is going to hurt too much.
But Eliza, can we say don't do that? What's your take on that? I'd rather someone say, I'm really not comfortable telling you, but I've come to this decision, than someone make something up, because then I want to like come back to respond to that. And then it's like, but if I can respond to that,
it's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose. If you tell me, man, boo boo, I've got something to tell you and I'm not going to tell you, it doesn't feel good, right? And then I'm left wondering, am I not attractive enough to you? Am I not from a good enough family? Do I not have enough class or status or personality, or you don't like my friends, or like, what is it? I'm racking my brain, and now I know there's something, and I know there's something that you really won't tell me, and that's going to really irritate me, versus you make up a story and you tell me something and I'm like, that's not true, and you're like, oh, it must be something else, or I don't know, but that's just not true, versus I'm not going to give you a reason. This isn't working for me. I'm not going to say that there's something else. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to say this doesn't work for me and I can't continue.
Yeah, I really
that's the path that I would choose.
Can I say though, and I'm going to say it, but it's really a question, Lisa.
Yeah.
I feel like that last option is my favorite option, but I feel like that only works up until a certain point. Like if you were seriously dating, then that's not fair. Like that's not enough. If you were seriously dating, if there was any point you were talking about a long-term relationship, about getting engaged, then I feel like the other person deserves a little more than that.
Right. So the question is, what do you say? Because whomever you're speaking to will most likely want to negotiate the points with you. So what, like, I could say to you, hey, Sarah, listen, we need to break up, but I need to talk to you about this. Let me tell you what's going on for me. And I'm going to tell you the things, and I have my top 3, 5, however many points that are running through my mind.
Yeah, but I know
first of all,
so I'm just
first
going
of all,
I'm going to tell you
that's true. Right? First of all, that, and by me, I have to tell you, right? Yeah, we are great together. And knowing that, and these other things, it's still a situation that doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. And here's why. But even when I tell you why, if you don't buy into those reasons being valid reasons for this not working, this isn't going to make sense to you. So it's going to be a really difficult conversation to have, because it doesn't matter what I say. There will be nothing that I can say to satisfy you except to tell you, I care for you, you're important to me. And even with those things in place, I can't make this work. Because that's the truth.
Right.
Now,
and I just want to add one more thing based on a point you said that's been like sitting in the back of my head. In the position where someone's breaking up with me, it's really hard to hear them say they care about me, because like, no, if you really cared about me, you wouldn't do this to me. But it's not true. So let's say it now, so that when you're in that moment, or if you're in that moment, like just remember this, they can genuinely care about you, and they probably do really care about you, especially if you've dated for a significant amount of time, and it still might not be the right relationship for them. That doesn't mean they don't care.
Correct. And when you care enough, you break up, because I need you to find somebody who's going to love you and want you and take care of you in the way that you need to be taken care of. And I'm not going to do it, because I'm not that person, because I figured it out and it doesn't work for me. So it really is a kindness at that point to break up if I'm not willing to put my all into this relationship.
And it can still hurt. Everything works together.
And on both sides. Never think, oh, even if they're not upset or they don't seem disturbed, there's a lot going on inside. For the person who has to break up with somebody, they have to build up the strength and build up the courage, and they have to constantly work until they just say it and they do it, and then they have to be done. And then for the person to hear it.
On top of that. And then they feel guilty for making you feel bad. And they feel bad that you feel bad, on top of the fact that they probably feel bad for themselves, just because they made the decision that this isn't a that this isn't the right relationship for them doesn't
Right.
mean that it feels good.
Right. Right. It doesn't usually feel good on any side. So now here's the piece of advice, and it depends who calls me.
Mhm.
If you're on the side of the person who is the heartbreaker and you're breaking up with somebody and you're saying, okay, great, so I'm going to break up with them. Now what? Okay. Now what is break up with them, have the final conversation, and then you really need to cut ties and move on. And to be honest,
Oh,
in
this is so
this
hard.
is
Oh,
this is not pretty. But when I say cut ties, I mean block their phone number so that it doesn't ring and it doesn't text. And don't go to places where you guys used to go and meet up. Like, be somebody who lives in the world, but lives in the world without being in their world. And the reason for this is twofold. Number one, they still like you and they will do everything in their power to get you back, even if they say they won't. It's just a natural, normal human reaction. Normally, people do that. Not all the time, but majority of the time they will do that. Number two, you may or may not have the strength to resist them, because just because you broke up with them, it doesn't mean you don't love them, or it doesn't mean you don't care about them.
right.
I can still love you and care about you and tell you I can't be with you. And it doesn't change the fact that I still love you. It doesn't disappear just because I said I don't want to continue. So you'll be tempted to go back because it's a relationship with somebody that you actually genuinely care about, but that you know it won't work with. And so the reason that we do this is to protect them and to protect you.
Wow.
Now,
So much easier said than done.
twist. Now to the other side, for the person who has their heart broken. The other reason that you should block their phone number and make sure that they can't reach you is because I am going to give them advice if they come calling me, right? And I'm hoping that two sides don't call me from the same situation, because you're going to get opposite advice. But I am going to give them the advice. You like them. You believe there's potential with this relationship. You think there's still something here. Okay, then you need to do something about it. What do you do? Depends on the situation. Some people can nurture the relationship, they can get it right back, and we can see if we can fix it and move on. Some people, we wait 3 months and then we make contact and we see if we can get feedback. Drip, drip. Maybe we don't get feedback. Another month, drip, another. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, drip. Oh, it was your mother's birthday. Happy birthday, drip, right? We will constantly reach out. Oh, they're going to be at that coffee shop. 4 o'clock, you know that's their time.
Wait,
You're gonna be getting a coffee too.
That you give different advice, like opposite advice to both parties.
Yeah, because the party that wants the relationship believes there's potential there, and where there's potential, we should follow. And the person that says, but it's not for me, needs to walk away, close the door, and move on. Now,
So 1 second. So how does
yeah.
them blocking their number help? I'm confused.
Yeah, well, if I start drip, drip, drip calling somebody and you blocked my number, you're never going to hear it. You're never going to know. And me on the other side, after 3 or 6 months, I'm going to be like, I never got a return call. I never got a text. I see that on their WhatsApp chat, it's not answered. It didn't go through. They never looked at it. Wow. Okay. I guess we're really done. Right. And now I can move on. And that's what I need. I needed to know that I made my effort, that I believed there was something there, that I could do something about it, and I did it. Okay, but it didn't lead to a result that I wanted, but I could always say I tried. And I feel better that I did what I was supposed to do to get back what I believed had potential. But if it's a no, it's a no. So on that side, on the side of the person who has their heart broken but wants something and believes in it, then I would tell them to try. If it gets complicated here. There's like a million scenarios. If you're heartbroken, you got to know, and you are so heartbroken that to go through this again would break you even more, right? As heartbroken as you are and as low as you are, if this would sink you into a depression, or you need to go on medication, or you need to see your therapist 3 times a week because there's just so much going on for you, then we're not going back. There is no drip, drip. It's over. We don't pursue. This is not something that's good for you. It's not healthy for you. Whether you want it or you don't want it, at that point, we don't care, because your mental and your physical health are not going to be in order if you pursue this. And that's not acceptable. So there's, and again, this, I'm giving you just a few examples, right? You might be like, but Elisa, but what about this? Right? I can't answer it until we ask it. There's so many nuances and details of breakups that happen. And yes, I would give conflicting advice to both sides, because for the one that wants it, we go for it. And for the one that doesn't, we avoid it and we move on. And sometimes the one that wants it, they get it. And why does it work? Because it was really the right match anyway. And the other person just made a rash or rushed or decision that wasn't really at the right time. And for other people, they go for it and that doesn't work out, but we all figure it out in the end.
Yeah. Wow. If you're listening on a podcast, you can't see my face, but this is just bringing up so much memories, and I've been on both sides of that in the past, and it's so hard. Like I'm feeling everything now, and I haven't felt this way in so long, because thank God I'm married and I'm happy and I'm with my soulmate. But those experiences are rough.
It's really rough. If you want to, right. So if you want to get to where Sarah is at, or to a place where you're experiencing something, I want you to think back about a past relationship where you deeply cared for somebody, whether you would say you love them or not. I don't care about the language, where you deeply, genuinely, really cared for somebody. Okay. Think. You with me? Think. You have that person in mind. There was somebody you genuinely cared for. It didn't work out. Either you broke their heart or they broke your heart. Now you're in the moment today. Can you still feel, when you think about that person, can you still feel that feeling of deeply caring for somebody? Of feeling connected to somebody that you built something with that didn't come to fruition, but you had a moment in time? And now fast forward, however, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, fast forward, can you still feel it? Usually you can.
Yeah.
Often people can feel it. So it doesn't just go away, this feeling on either side. It doesn't matter whether you love them and they broke up with you or vice versa. It makes no difference. Feelings are there, and it's like an imprint on our heart, and it's something that comes back to us. So if there's something there and you want it, you should go for it. And if you love it, but it's not for you, they are not for you, then you should walk away. And when you walk away, it's not always like, let's be friends. You can't be friends with somebody who loves you, who wants to be in a relationship with you. You can't. They want you. They will forever try, even if they tell you we can just be friends. It's okay. Because my advice to the other side would be, tell them you want to be friends, because friends can lead to marriage. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it happens all the time. You just need an in. You just need a conversation. Just keep the ball rolling. Keep the coals hot. And you could potentially build it into something. It happens all the time. Oh, I'm telling you, all the time. So if you think, oh, we're just going to be friends, I'll do the nice thing, I want to do the right thing by them, I want to stay friends because we had something. Let me just tell you, you might be marrying them. And if you tell me I don't want to marry them, then you should not remain friends, because the likelihood of you getting into a relationship with them again, it's pretty high. The percentages are very high. The people you hang around with, the people you connect with, the people you talk to, you might end up marrying. So you don't want to marry them. They're definitely not your person. Move on.
Elisa, I feel like we're going to need to debrief after this, because you know my whole dating history. Talk about something, but given what you're saying right now, that if you do end up staying friends with them, there's a good likelihood that you will end up married. Is that a recipe for disaster, or is that a possibility that maybe you really do need more time? Maybe you need to see them from a different perspective. Maybe you need to spend time with them in a different way. Like, I'm just asking because of the way that you phrase that makes me think maybe they should spend more time together.
Right. It's either a recipe for disaster or a recipe for success. It's a
Wow, that was helpful.
no, it's a disaster if one side really doesn't want to be with that person, but they're willing to be friends. Like, I like you as a person, so I'll
Got
hang
it.
around with
Got it.
you, right? Right. But I'm never marrying you. I never marrying you. It doesn't matter how long you drip on me. It's never going to work. We're not drip, and I'm going to be okay with it. I'm never marrying you. I want to be friends. I like you. I value your input. I think that you're somebody good to talk to. I think that you're somebody comfortable and easy for me to talk to. And you know me, you really know me. So you're an asset to my life. And I want to have you in my life for selfish reasons. That's beneficial to me. Right?
Right.
Okay. But if I'm never marrying you, it's a recipe for disaster. Why? Because you are going to live brokenhearted with the hope that this might work. It could. We're friends. It could. Even if they tell you it's not true. I know it's not true. It's not true. Love does not understand we are still friends. Love understands I really love you and I'm still talking to you. And maybe if we keep having conversations, one day it'll lead to something more because I want something more with you.
Ooh, I learned this one the hard way. And I'm so happy it ended up the way it ended up. But in the moment, I didn't.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And the recipe for success is if you want it and you're there and you can maintain your cool. I'm not going to, Lisa, I'm not going to fall apart if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I need to know. I put my all into it. I really think this person is amazing. I want them. They don't see it yet. I'm going to stick around as a friend. I'm going to stick around as an anything until I could see if I could just win them back or help them to see a different light or just build something, right? Because if we stay friends, what do? We build a connection. Well, what do you do when you build a connection for long enough? It gets closer and closer and closer. And then we're not just friends. There's just something more that's there. There's a deep, meaningful, real connection, which is why it's also great to turn a friend into a relationship. There's something that's there that's based on something that you both feel connected to in a real, meaningful way. So for some people, it could be a recipe for success because if I stick around long enough, you might see how great we are together. And then we'll end up together. And it's not a disaster because you just needed more time to come around to it. And I was willing to be patient and I was willing to risk being brokenhearted again for a second time and not lose my marbles and not go crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, right? No, it's heavy. It's such a heavy, hard, deep topic because it's really, it's this brain heart combination. And you and I talked about this a lot, Sarah. It's, if I'm breaking up with you, I know we're not right, even though I feel connected.
Right.
And if you're being broken up with, it's, I don't understand what's wrong. We are so connected. It's like, it doesn't, there's like no synchronicity between the head and the heart. It just doesn't make sense. There's something there, but it doesn't have potential. Wait, why can't it work? I don't understand. And it's really difficult to get through it. But in the end, it is a true, true, true benefit. If you will not marry them and you will not be happy and you will not make them happy for a lifetime, it is a true benefit to break up and move on. And as soon as you know, don't rush it, but don't drag it out either. Try to do it in a healthy time frame.
That was good. Elisa, that was solid.
Sarah, I have to tell you, Sarah is like done. You are just so, I could see on your face.
Is like 200 miles per hour right now. And a big part of me wants to like just think about, and I'm sure this is something that we do intuitively, but really take it to the next level and think about what did I learn and what did I gain from all those relationships that didn't work out?
Yeah.
But I really have a follow-up question that I'm going to ask you, but I don't want you to answer it. I think there's enough heaviness for today. I think maybe we'll do it as the next episode, but I would love to talk about closure. After closure,
it is.
breakup. Let's do that next episode. Yeah.
Awesome. If you need any dating and relationship support, as always, we are totally here for you. We have a phenomenal team of coaches. I think they're phenomenal. I picked them. I trained them. I love them. Yeah, we have a really wonderful, wonderful team. You can work with any one of our coaches, or you're welcome to work with me. And if you're like, I don't know who to work with, just call me. I mean, don't call me. Sign up on the website, marriagemindedmentor.com. You can find us, you can work with us, and we would love to help you through all of your dating and relationship breakups, makeups, broken hearts, anything, whatever it is, we are totally here for you. Until next time, signing off.
Bye.